Hello guys. Hello, I am here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tony, for being able to leave on time. So I have my time now with.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Enjoy.
Guten Tag, ladies and Mr. Zelling. Shame that we cannot be in Berlin to shake our hands and have a face-to-face conversation, but still better than nothing, right? So hopefully we will have the opportunity, I don't know, later on during the year, maybe. Let's see what's going to happen with ITB, if there is any chances to postpone the event. But in the meantime, I think it's a great opportunity to be here with you today, give us the chances to talk about what we do, even if obviously I'm not in Berlin, I've decided to, you know, not take, leave the trip and, you know, stay home, but, you know, working hard again from here and trying to remotely do and catch up everything that we were supposed to be doing face to face. So what I would like to do today, guys, I learned about what it should be done. I know, Daniel, come on, you can introduce me.
As you can tell, I was working with Ilaria in the past. I know how she works and operates. She will start talking and she will not stop. So you have to interrupt politely.
Waving seems to do the trick.
Exactly. Or just mute her. No, kidding. But Ilaria, to stick to the process that we want to emphasize in the sessions, a quick intro on you, and then a quick intro on Angie/Nomadics, if you want.
Yeah.
For 60 seconds, and then we dive into whatever you prepare.
Sure, perfect, guys. So introducing myself, obviously Ilaria Marinoni from Angie Hospitality. I've been in the hospitality industry for about now I was counting the years before my turn, so about 20 years. Started in operations first, so working in hotels, going through different departments at the time, from F&B to front office sales, and then moving to the exciting world of technologies. So from selling GDS, distribution, having the pleasure to work closely with Daniel at the time together at Pegasus, and then moved across to other reality of technology from New Market, now part of Amadeus, Lanyon, Cvent, and then Angie Hospitality today. So that's the story. Obviously, my passion is hospitality. Sometimes the hospitality industry drives us crazy, but we still love it. So we are still, all of us, we are still here somehow. So let's talk about Angie. I have prepared a very, very high-level presentation today. I just want to introduce Angie Hospitality. Angie Hospitality is an American company. We are part of a larger umbrella. I will mention also, I will talk briefly about the sister companies that we're part of. We are probably a reality that is not well known in Europe at the moment, and that's obviously my job, my team's job, to start penetrating the market and educate about what we do. Angie Hospitality, in essence, what we do is we want to make the guest experience better. We want to improve the way a guest communicates with the hotel staff during their stay, to get obviously a better guest experience, to have a better guest engagement, but also to improve from an operational point of view the life of the staff at the hotel. So Angie, 2 years ago, it was launched as the first 24 hours guest room assistant. So literally, and I'm gonna show you in a second, literally we're talking about a device in the room to be available to the guest to communicate with the hotel, a sort of Alexa, if we want to, because everyone nowadays knows about Alexa. We all have, or most of us have, some sort of Alexa devices in the house to talk to them and ask about the weather or switch off a light. And Hospitality does basically do the same, but is very focused on hospitality because it was purely a piece of technology that was created with the life of a guest, hotel guest in mind. So I'm gonna share my screen with you. Give me just a second. Hopefully everything is gonna work, and let me know if you can see my screen. Yeah, you should be able to. Perfect. So let's talk about Angie Hospitality. As I mentioned, we are part of a more extended group. We have been around for a decade. not Angie itself, but Nomadics was probably the longest, the eldest, let's say, of the sister companies. Nomadics is very well known, despite the fact that probably the logo and the name Nomadics is not, you know, something that everyone here. But actually, we are powering a lot of internet access getaways from, you know, the largest hotel chains to smaller hotels. So we are really powering a lot. We provide about 5 million connections daily. So we are big. Sometimes we work with resellers in some market worldwide. So we might be actually not known as Nomadics. We might be known as a local provider, but we are still behind with our solution. Global reach again, it's another big, actually big reality at the moment worldwide, and I will give you some example in a second. Global reach provides Wi-Fi solutions, including the Hotspot 2.0. For the ones that are not familiar with Hotspot 2.0, is actually the new, let's say, technology for connecting a Wi-Fi. And why is that? First of all, Hotspot 2.0 is more secure than any other connection worldwide existing at the moment. And it's also quicker to join a network. So let's say a guest at a hotel, sometimes you have the headache to you know, log in, put your name, your number, you need to put a password maybe, and then you get into the Wi-Fi of the hotel. With Hotspot 2.0, actually, you jump all of these steps and you actually certify your device. So it's much quicker, and also give you the chance at a hotel chain level to actually walk to another hotel of the same chain, and as soon as you walk, your device is actually recognized, your mobile phone is recognized, and actually you're just jumping on their Wi-Fi network. So it's something very big. And Global Reach actually does not just sell in the hospitality vertical, actually cover all sorts of vertical. If you imagine that last month, Global Reach, we did launch the new public Wi-Fi service available in Trafalgar Square in London. That's powered by us, by Global Reach. The same on the London Underground and the same in New York City. So if you walk around New York City and you're able to use the Wi-Fi offered to the public, that's actually Global Reach behind it. So it's actually a big we might get to Cologne at some point. Who knows, right?
Okay.
The third company part of our umbrella is Intertouch. Intertouch actually is actually the main office of Intertouch is actually in Singapore, but they're still part of our umbrella, and they are basically a strong presence regarding multimedia services, interactive, TV systems, entertainment, and all of that sort of technology. And then obviously Angie Hospitality, the youngest sister of the family. And you know, as I mentioned to you earlier, we have launched our guest room assistant, and we are also launching something new that I will introduce to you today. So across all of these four realities and the four companies that we cover, we are obviously giving a voice to the global hospitality community. There are lots of different chains that are using our system from one of the other sister companies. We are still, you know, working already in partnership with big names, but also with like independent hotels, all different segments. Obviously, it really depends. With our technology, we can really offer whatever a hotel chain or a single hotel wants to offer to their guests. So we can really cover, you know, A to Z in that sense. And also in terms of integrations and partners, we do work very closely with lots of big players in the market, because obviously Angie is not just a matter of communicate with the hotel staff, but we're also able to offer, for example, room control technology, and obviously that's where we come to play with, you know, in partnership with different providers, PMSs and other stuff, but we will talk about it in a second. So why Angie? Why voice? As I said earlier, we want to enhance the guest satisfaction with a better service. We want, you know, everyone today doesn't have patience, doesn't have time. We want everything now, and we want to reach out to, you know, reception. We need something, but maybe there is a queue downstairs for, you know, checkout time, and we still need an extra towel or something is happening. And that's why, you know, it's important to have, you know, not just a phone to reach out to hotel staff, but also an extra, you know, an extra channel, let's say, that could be obviously a device in the room or a web application as well, a mobile application as well. And Angie also helped to actually, let's say, maximize the optimization of the operational aspects in a hotel. It's not just a matter of a guest enjoying the stay, but it's also, you know, the hotel team to be able to enjoy what they do, being operationally functioning. And that's the way and how Angie can also help that. And the third very interesting point for me talking about Angie is also Angie can help generate incremental revenue. Why? Because two important things. Number one, if you have, you know, something available where you can actually order room service, you can actually book a service, you want to, you know, book a table at the restaurant of the hotel, you want to book a spa treatment, that's incremental revenue that might not happen anyway if you wouldn't have something in the room that you remind you about services that your hotel is offering, but also the fact that you don't need to call and wait maybe to confirm your, you know, the availability of the service you want to book. That's something really important. And the other thing very important is that the fact that you have a device in the room, Angie, and I will show you a couple of pictures in a second, give the possibility to have screenshots and slideshows on the screen of Angie. So to show exactly, you know, services of the hotel that maybe a guest, sorry, might not be aware that they exist. That's also something that can generate direct revenue as well. Now, Angie Hospitality is actually stepping in and all the different steps of during the guest journey. So we are there from obviously pre-arrival, how we have with our new Angie on the Go product. Angie on the Go is actually a product we are launching as we speak. ITB was you know, actually an exciting moment for us because we have prepared and, you know, our new solution. So we are going to have a mobile application. Before it was only a guest room assistant in the room. Now we're going to be able also to offer a mobile application, which is something that obviously, I'm going to be honest, there is a lot out there, which is, you know, mobile application to assist a guest during the stay. The advantage of the Angie mobile application is that, first of all, very important, can be obviously, you know, combined with the Angie device in the room. So that can kind of give, you know, a diversify the offer, diversify the channel that, you know, the guest can use to communicate with the hotel. And the other important thing of the Angie application will also be an application that work by voice. So again, it's sort of like Siri on our iPhone, same sort of thing. So you don't just need to, you know, scroll and touch and use your finger, but you will also be able to talk to the mobile app as well. Anyway, so what we do is literally being present across the whole guest journey, from the pre-arrival with the guest request, during their, you know, check-in process, check-out process, the in-stay experience, and also, you know, post-stay as well. I want to, you know, show you and have you to meet the Angie family. At the moment, these are the four pieces of technology that we can offer. The first three obviously are the in-room devices. They cover different functionality, and, you know, whoever is going to be interested to know more about it, you know, I'm available anytime. So, you know, we're not going to go through every different devices and the functionality today. We will talk about it in a big picture. And then you have the Angie on the Go mobile, the mobile web and application. Now, something new that will come out in the next few weeks is the Angie Spark, which is at the moment available as a smaller device. We are also launching the Angie Spark 7 inches. It's a 4 inches today. The smallest member of the family will get to a 7 inches, and that's something very exciting. We're just waiting. We have the devices already. We are working at the moment to make sure that we align all the devices in terms of functionality and have only one platform behind it. So again, for a hotel that will choose to work, for example, with both a device in the room, but also offering to their guests a mobile web application, the back office, the portal will be only one. So the contents will be uploaded only on one system. Analytical reportings will come out of one system only. Now, one important thing that I want to mention about Angie devices is that they're multilingual. So obviously it's a product that can work in, you know, different reality, in a hotel that doesn't need to have anything else except English, but also in you know, in reality where actually it's more international. We want to have 3-4 languages. We are good to offer that. So the guest doesn't have, you know, to make the effort to use a foreign language, but will be able to talk to Angie. Angie will be responding in the language. Another important thing that I really like, and I'm very actually passionate about it, is that some of the features, some of the devices actually, in the moment that you're talking to them, they're actually showing on the screen exactly what you're saying, and also the answer is reported back, not just verbally, but also written on the screen, which I think in case of like multilingual and international environment, is very important. Now, in terms of features, you can see it on the screen. There is a lot available from, you know, high fidelity Bluetooth. You can stream your own music. You can actually request the music the way you would request with Alexa, and that's going to be powered by YouTube, for example. You know, room control, we can control air conditioning, the curtain, the temperature, you know, lots of different technology that a hotel could already have implemented, and we can customize the integrations with the provider. So we do have clients that reach out to us, they already have something in place in terms of room control technology, and then we can work and customize an integration for them. And the important part about integrations, we already integrate with systems like Hot Sauce, for example, or with Alice, and that's really important for some hotels, and also with PMSs, obviously. So, you know, we can also work with hotels where they want to totally enhance the experience, have a PMS integration. We can also do that. So there is a lot to talk about. Obviously, today is not the place. It's just to give you a taste of what it is. Obviously, all sorts of information that you can have generic about the hotel. Hey, Angie, can you book me a taxi? Hey, Angie, what time is breakfast? Hey, Angie, you know, where is the nearest cinema located? So there is a lot that can be done, obviously. So I'm looking forward to have anyone who's interested to hear more about it, to, you know, have a demo with me or a meeting and talk about it more. And then just to close with the latest piece of technology that we're offering now is the Angie on the Go. So as I mentioned earlier, mobile application available, can be voice control as well. And again, the mobile application will give you the chance to communicate, the guests to communicate with the hotel. First of all, not only after they are checked in and they're in the room, but also prior, which is really important. Pre-arrival guest registration is possible, request, like any sort of request that a guest have, online check-in, mobile keys, and then also the advantage of obviously being in communication with the hotel when you're outside. Maybe you're in your office, you forgot something, you want to communicate to the hotel that, you know, your hairdryer was broken, or you want to book your spa treatment for the time you come back from the office because you're exhausted and you need one. So that's also something that can be done. So that's basically, in a nutshell, everything that we do at Angie. As I mentioned, there is much, much more. Our main office in Europe is in London. We have a big office in Singapore, in India. Los Angeles, obviously, is the commercial head office, so based in California. And that's basically, you know, Angie Hospitality. I don't know, guys, if you have any questions for me, or you want to know more about something in particular.
Sure, absolutely. Who wants to start? Iris?
Yeah, sure. Are there online questions?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
So, how many languages can you can Angie handle right now?
At the moment, we can handle seven languages: German, obviously, French, Spanish, Italian, Chinese, English. We have another 5 on the go, but obviously we can customize very easily. So it's something that if tomorrow we would have a requirement about, I don't know, Ukrainian, I'm just guessing, you know, it's something that we can implement fairly quick. We have already module ready, so we have a system in place where our developers can actually upload and customize the languages based on the requirements of a specific client. And the same for PMS integration, for example, or room controlling, for example.
Okay. And I saw that you put the phone module, but that would only be available with a high-end product, right? Like with the
yes, we have So Deluxe Plus also offer a telephone handset, literally. Now you can use Angie. All devices can be used to make calls, can be used to talk to reception, for example. But if a hotel wants to replace their phone system, that can be done with the Angie Lux Plus. And actually, I was having an interesting conversation with a Mexican provider last week, and they were saying, hey, we are opening a new hotel chain. We, at the moment, you know, we have a cost of each device, telephone device per room, it's about $1,000 just for the phone. And it's just to have a handset to make, you know, digit the numbers and dial a phone number. Obviously, Angie, it's actually being considered at the moment because obviously it can actually offer everything plus a phone on top. And the cost, obviously, it's a big cost reduction for, you know, for hotelier in that sense. So, and at a lower cost, obviously. So that's something that it's a great point you made about the telephone.
So Ilaria, you're just talking about costs, and I wanted to ask you about that one.
Sorry, say it again?
You were just talking about the costs.
Yes.
So what is your commercial model? I mean, with a hotel, let's say 100 rooms, obviously, when I look at your beautiful devices, they look expensive, right? So what is your commercial model in hardware and licenses?
So our pricing model, and again, obviously, it depends on the situation. If we are talking about a chain of 300 hotels and one independent hotels, we are totally, you know, kind of spacing here. But let's say, generally speaking, first of all, we have to diversify with the devices in the room. Obviously, we are working with actually two different options, two different models. Either the hotel to actually acquire the device, so the hotel would acquire the device, that would be proprietary of the hotel, and we basically provide a license, or actually do a sort of like leasing. So basically, it would be like an offer where we keep, you know, the device remains as our proprietary, but actually we kind of give it to the hotel to use it for the sort of time of length of the contract, and we talk about a 3 years minimum in that situation. Now, a device itself, I mean, I give you a range just to give you an idea, and I'm talking dollars. We are talking between $199 to $450. This is the sort of range. Now, again, it depends on...
Like a smartphone, right?
Excuse me?
Exactly the cost like a smartphone.
Less than some smartphones.
Or less than some of them.
Exactly,
yes.
Exactly. But then again, I'm talking about list price at the moment. As I told you, I mean, I wouldn't, it's just for me to give you a range. I wouldn't quote as you know, a price that we would, you know, quote. Now, for the mobile application, different story. Obviously, it's a license. Obviously, there is a setup per hotel, and then you would have, you know, a yearly per room fee. Again, I can give you a range where if you think about per room, it would probably around $10 per year per room. Roughly. Again, depends on what sort of functionality the hotel wants to achieve. If a hotel wants only to use an application for a certain basic feature, is obviously one cost. If the hotel will start requiring PMS interfaces, interfacing with other systems, and actually having a more extended functionality and features, or imagine if I want to customize the look and feel of the app, obviously it's a totally different pricing. But that's kind of to give you an idea of how we are working at the moment.
Sounds interesting. So what percentage of your guests, can you measure how many are really using it?
You can obviously,
measure ROI as well?
Yes, so what we provide, once a hotel is on board with Angie, on both the devices, in-room devices, or actually the mobile app as well, obviously we provide, the hotel would have a platform where they can obviously run reports, they can see the usage, they can actually see what part of the device, what functionality are actually used more than other. I give an example. I see the reports of existing clients every day, and one of the features of the device, the Angie device in the room that is mostly used is music, obviously. So there is a lot of people just come in the room, hey Angie, I want to hear some, I don't know, jazz music. So that's one thing. And to be honest with you, I have 2 Angie's devices next to me here on my desk. I use them myself as well. I mean, it's like having, you know, I need to test them. I play with them all day, but also I use that for music. And another, obviously, functionality very important is requesting and booking services of the hotel. So look at hotel amenities, what choice can I make? I need an extra towel, I want to book a spa treatment. So these are the sort of reporting you can have, but you can also report actually at a very deep level. For example, you can report and see in a month, let's say, which are the dishes of the room service that have actually been requested more versus other. So can really kind of, you know, reporting is important because it can actually affect and help the choices, the strategies of the same hotel to say, okay, which service I want to address and which services I wanted to propose to my guests. And you can obviously report as well on usage. So how many active users I have on the application at the moment, who's using it, when, why. So, you know, there is a lot of reporting. Every single field of the devices will be able to be reported on. So it's very easy. Yeah.
Sounds like a no-brainer to me.
Well, you know, like.
Well, hold on.
I should actually send you a device, right, and put it in the office and kind of play on it. In fact, you know, whenever you need a coffee, just ask Angie, and Daniel will bring it to your desk within 10 minutes.
Thank you so much.
only the driving is pretty. Okay.
But what do you like? What can the concerned guests do? Because there's still like lots of people who are very like they're not comfortable with Siri and Alexa and whatnot. So if they enter a hotel room like that, they wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable. They feel like listened to or whatnot. So what can those guests do?
I totally agree with you, actually. I feel that depending on the age range, depending on the culture, depending on the nationality, I have to say, depending on the, you know, the hotel segment, you find that different people, different guests would actually be attracted or not to the technology. I think that obviously Angie give you the opportunity to decide at what level you want to use the technology. Do you want to speak to Angie? Do you want to, you know, use your finger and actually make choice on a screen? Do you want to go back to the, you know, the traditional make a call downstairs to reception? The phone is still there. So I think that at the moment we are, I mean, in 2020, let's say, I think we're still in a situation where different guests would react to technology in a different way. And I think it's still important to kind of leave, you know, the traditional channels of communication together with like the newest technology. Angie is not a replacement. Angie is actually an extra way, an extra channel to give the chance to the guests to reach out the way they want, in the terms they want, and how much they want to use it. So, you know, there is a possibility the device, you can switch them off if you don't want to have the device on.
And that would be my next question. I mean, is it the hotelier's choice how much, or can you actually, as like you enter the room, at what point do you actually, at what point do you actually give consent for being listened to? I know, like, obviously there's the keyword, but people still feel like that.
Yes, it's very important.
That is one point, and then the next point is like, okay, yeah, can you actually switch it off?
You can switch it off. You can switch it off the voice, for example, and just use it as, imagine like an iPad, basically. So like the touch. So that can be done as well. Obviously, Angie would adapt to the different legal requirements of each country. You know, there are some countries where actually you might need the guest to make, you know, a kind of consent to use it. Again, you know, we do have these requests from different clients, and we can basically provide, you know, a certain adaptation of the device to make sure that we cover that needs.
That's great.
So 2 questions before we wrap it up.
Sure.
One is the checkout process. You said in the last device in the app, there is a checkout possibility. Does that integrate a payment solution as well? So I click checkout and then my credit card will be processed, or how does that work?
So I'm going to diversify the answer here from the in the room device and the web and the mobile app. So mobile app, obviously, you can check out online. If there is an integration with the PMS, and if your credit card was obviously already stored at the time of check-in, obviously that can be done automatically. The device in the room, you can, again, with the PMS integration, you can obviously view your bill on the screen, and you can actually check out. So you can say, I want to check out now. And that's basically the process. Again, if there is a credit card in place and there's no pending or outstanding balance in your room, obviously the system would allow you to. If there's no, and there is pending charges pendings, obviously that the system doesn't, you know, let you do it. But it's like, imagine it's like any other guest where I'm checked in a hotel and I just leave, go back home and I haven't checked out. So that sort of reality can happen anyway. But yes, there is the possibility to do that.
Okay, and the last question, how can we find you in the next days?
Right, so, well, obviously I'm not in Berlin. I'm reachable, you know, on LinkedIn, obviously. Angie Hospitality's website, angie.ai for artificial intelligence. So I can easily contact it through our info generic form, or my email address, ilaria.marinoni@angie.ai. And yeah, that's how you can reach me, and I will be more than welcome to, you know, organize any sort of virtual demo or meeting with anyone that is interested. We are going to be at the Hotel Independent show in Amsterdam in 2 weeks, if the show will happen. So we will be there with actually Hospitality Industry Club. So we are there at your stand, guys. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I will see you soon. And then, yes, that's all for today from Angie Hospitality.
And from Ilaria, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
That was very needed, and like I feel like Ilaria gave us like a little bit of energy after more than 5 hours being live.
Exactly, and that's why you don't need coffee, you know. You have been pumped. Now you can go for the rest of the day.
Yeah. 2 more to go, and actually two great people. And I'm saying bye to Ilaria, and then